And we are back with round 7 of the second series of the Special Stage Pro Trucks. Welcome to Indianapolis Raceway Park for the insert nonsensically long name race. Insert nonsensically long race name here GP by CJR Graphics. I am Olivia Hayward. Joining me in the booth tonight is James Watson. If you missed last week's action, it is available to watch over on Turn 200, but we are back live on JCTV, and we're heading straight into qualifying for our first heat race.
That we are, and it's going to be interesting to see how everyone is going to be able to make pace here. There aren't too many corners at this track. It looks like one of the more simpler and easier layouts in RX, but make no mistake, this track can be very difficult if you're not coming at it in the right way. You know, you got a lot of walls to deal with here, which you don't quite have to worry about as much in some other RX. Yeah, as you see right there, Tom Hymas kind of proving my words right as he lives to die another day.
Hey, we got the countdown already. Nice.
Have to start early, but yeah, you see, not much room for error, and you can easily just completely kill your qualifying attempt by just a little tappy tap of the wall. So you got to be inch perfect to make sure you don't trigger that 0x and force yourself to have to be making ground up from the back.
Yeah, it is a very short and simple track, but it means that you have to be inch perfect as you go through. You saw that little chicane section. Drivers apparently are allowed to cut that in the race, so long as they serve whatever penalties iRacing gives you for that. Similar to what we had over at Navarra. Of course, qualifying not so kind. You do have to get that valid lap in. So when Hymas ran in a bit of an unfamiliar line, so he can cross the line to finish up his qualifying run, and he only needs one lap to get that pole position, at least provisionally, from the rest of the field. Never mind, Zach Amsbacher goes fastest once again by just 0.5 of a second. Great run through for him. Got a few more drivers cycling through. In fact, most drivers are finishing up their laps already. You see Zach Fuller come towards the line. See whether that Southwest machine can get any further up the grid. And it is going to be an improvement in time, but it's still only good enough for 4th place. As in fact, Alex Good going to be a driver coming through to start some laps with 2.5 minutes left.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, you saw Good kind of miss the apex there. That's going to cost him a massive amount of time.
Yeah, it is a very tricky sequence through there. It runs almost like a fish hook. It runs... Oh
my goodness!
Go! You got the run-up. You can get lap 2. Here we go. Setting the tempo out. It's Good coming up right here. Keeps it back in the right direction. And we will go again, but you see we come through, running through turns 3 and 4 on the oval, through turn 1 as well. You saw the Joker cuts in onto the apron, rejoins down here in the corner very sketchily, and then we slice back through and run down the pit road in reverse with a nice old jump for good measure. Very strange situation. I think you probably could end up going over the wall if you hit your lines wrong through there, so let's hope we don't get a little bit of that throughout this one. Then you come back through all the way around to the entry, and then around that sausage curb, around that sign, and back up where Alex Good keeps it on all 4 this time. We'll come through towards the end of the lap. What sort of lap time are we going to see from the 97 here? It'll be a 50.8, jumps Victor Aldrich up into the 7th position here tonight.
Yeah, you saw Good kind of missed the apex in that chicane there on the infield. You know, the key to speed at tracks like this, and similar to the Daytonas and Phoenix as well. You've got to make sure in these trucks you hook those berms. That's going to help you so much. It's going to gain you so much time, because if you don't, the truck is just going to slide out. And you saw how much time it lost. It just looks visibly slow too. I think if Good was able to hook those properly, would have been able to save them at least, I don't know, a second and a half.
Yeah, it is a very awkward track to run. You see the sort of complexities of those hairpin turns, especially. And as we come through, we are going to have our starting grid as we get ready to go racing here for the first heat race. It'll be 8 laps, 2 jokers required. It'll be everyone down in one field here, and your starting lineup is as follows. It is Zach Amsbacher who lines up on the pole position ahead of Tom Manheimers by just 0.5 of a second. Row number 2 is Joey Kirk with Zach Fuller lined up to his inside, I believe, actually. Ant Reeperson and Matt Schlosser will make up 5th and 6th. And then we have Alex Good, Victor Aldrich, your final qualifying drivers, with Stephen Thompson and Joshua Motorchek, the last of your 10 trucks here tonight. Of course, got a few drivers up in virtual Wisconsin for the Crandon Championships. Wishing everyone focusing on that the very best. What this does mean, though, is Tom Manheimers, who took some good results over last week at Firebird, has a good chance of making a run through. Here you see the point standings. Edmondson leads by 467, but it's Manheimers down in second, with Fuller, Winkler, and Johnson still mathematically in things. I think we're getting ready to go here, though. Let's see what this field is able to do in the first heat here at IRP. 8 laps on the table, and we are rolling for heat number 1.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting turn 1. It narrows significantly. Stark contrast from all the way up here with all the track width, which means we're going to see contact, and more contact as we get down to it. Whoa, there's a little bit already.
Oh. And here you see the line.
Yeah, it's like we're back at Navarre again. Oh, a little bit of contact between Aldrich and Schlosser. Aldrich is going to get the position. Good jump from Aldrich, already up a couple spots.
Yeah, great work from the 98. We had an incident further back, it looks like, for Stephen Thompson.
Oh. As you saw, Manheimers also almost did the grip roll we saw from Good in qualifying.
This is going to be something to watch. Going to be very, very tricky to keep an eye on here. And this is a rallycross track, not really designed for trucks that weigh this much, but we are throwing them around anyway. You see Zach Fuller in all the way to the tail end of Zach Amsbacher through that shortcut. Going to be so careful to thread the needle through there. I can imagine someone's going to end up clipping the wall as they try and fight and carry as much speed as possible into the pit road section.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't already. So we see a battle between the Zachs. Fuller to the inside of Amsbacher. Looks like Amsbacher is going to pull him significantly. And here comes Aldrich to the inside of Meeperson. Looks like we're going to get a few trucks taking that Joker. This is one of the worst Jokers in all of Rallycross. It's not much of a Joker. You're not really cutting anything. But it's narrow. It's hard to get down into. And you're basically exiting right in the racing line. So you see a lot of calamity happen from that alone. But so far, a good chunk of the field was able to take it and no ill effects.
Yeah, a very awkward line. I believe some of the sort of rallycross leads when they come here say that you can't take it on lap 1 because it would just cause too much chaos with the trucks so close together. Now they spread out a bit, and you can sort of shoot that gap. And you see here's Matt Schlosser to try and use that Joker. See if he can find a bit of clear
Oh,
air.
there's issues! Behind going around. Oh my goodness, a whole lot of contact. Fuller got into him. Aldridge is stuck behind.
Oh, and Aldridge nearly into the wall there. They're going to be side by side over the jump. Keep it pointed in the right direction. But they're on top of each other now. Anspacher and Meeperson able to run away a little bit. Manheimus in the clear, and it's Fuller, Kirk, and Aldrich under a blanket through here. They keep it on the straight and narrow. We are halfway through this race here. We'll go back and see exactly what went wrong down in that previous segment. If I can get the cameras in the right spot. Hang on. And here we go. Oh, and he clips that. Oh, concrete on the inside.
Oh.
Fuller ends up on the rear two wheels. I don't know how everyone got through on that one. We'll look back at that in the initial
just tried to.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Liv. Just trying to say, cut in just a little too early. And unfortunately, the wall said, Doctor, no, and grabbed a hold of that left front tire of Mahimus.
This is back to lap number 1 with Stephen Thompson. In fact, just pull it off here. So we'll go back to our live pictures. Mahimus still isn't being careful through that section, pushing the absolute limits to try and get back to the field. As he runs in the 3rd position, they're fighting still behind Victor Aldrich, trying to close in on Zach Fuller for that position.
Oh, and there's more contact with each other. Aldrich gets put sideways. There goes Monachek taking the Joker. Another thing that makes that Joker difficult is that you see a big white line there on the exit or on the entry. You have to be to the inside of that, and otherwise you will cop a penalty for improper Joker usage. So that's also what makes it sketchy for anyone that has to run this track.
Yeah, we did see a similar thing at Daytona, but no one really fell afoul of that one. Here, it's a bit of a different story. We are coming to the white flag here, and I think I could just be having incorrect data, but I think some people haven't taken the correct amount of Jokers. You see a few drivers filing through. Of course, 2 Jokers required. My timing screen
and
is showing.
Comes Kirk!
Kirk comes through.
Oh, you're contacting me, person! Look at this massive humanity! Oh, behind us, sideways over the jump! Oh, and they're still going at it, throwing haymakers as Amsbacher is able to just run away with the win.
This is incredible. Battle for second place, still fighting through. Joey Kirk breaks away for second. It'll be Meeperson who leads Van Heimus through. Over the line, Amsbacher will take the race win on the racetrack with Kurt Meeperson and Heimus behind. It'll be Fuller, Motorchet, Aldrich, Schlosser, and Alex Good who finished this one out. What a finish as we came through to finish up heat number 1. Good just makes his way through. That will finish up the racing here. And while we're talking, let's have a quick look back at that final lap between everyone, because that was a fantastic battle between them. I think this should jump us back. Why can I not find the right camera? There we go. It's such a pinch point in that final hairpin. In fact, let's roll it back a little bit further. Let's watch that entire final lap from up on the blimp cam. To see everyone file through for that Joker lap. 3 drivers go through the Joker. It was Joey Kirk who'd already served it. Sort of took that wider line. A little bit of contact between Manheimus and that would be that Meeperson. They sort of stacked up with each other. And Kirk gets to that inside line over the jump. And ends up fighting with and for that second position. As we come down into the hairpin.
Yeah, we were nearly 3 wide right there. That's just madness.
And then I think he would have had the run on the outside line there anyway, but a little bit of help from Tom Manheimus giving a nudge to and to just unsettle and ends up giving an extra run down to Joey to finish in that second position. A great, great run for them. Of course, we are into our warm-up session. Just the one heat and then straight into the feature. Both award points as standard here. And so just a minute's time, we will be ready to go once again for a 16-lap race, double the amount of laps. So gotta be a bit more careful with your truck. As that Meepson nearly goes up and over with the grip roll coming through turn number... Is that turn number 1? Do we count the oval turn in Rallycross?
That is an excellent question. No idea.
I would love to know how exactly the track maps counted. Of course, this track only used once, I believe, in the real world. Red Bull Global Rallycross in its final season in 2017 came to Indianapolis. And the event was won in the end by Scott Speed, who went on to win that title. Because everyone remembers Red Bull Global Rallycross. I know Chris Leone does. Shout out to Chris Leone.
I do too. We are one of the 6 people that do. We'll never forget Pastrana's dirt.
Yeah, Dennis was giving us a lot of our strange rallycross tracks because a lot of them were built around oval tracks throughout America. That's why we have this, why we have the one over Iowa, I believe. And a few others that we have on the service to enjoy. Of course, news coming through that a different kind of oval, the Lucas Speedway, not confused with where we are right now, the Lucas Indianapolis Raceway Park, the dirt road track over at Wheatland is going to be in progress. One of our first pieces of dirt road content in about 5 years to enjoy along with the FIA Cross Car. I am very excited about that one. Our field. Oh, we're getting ready to go already. Alex Good to be on pole with Matt Schlosser alongside Aldrich, Murchek, Fuller, Manheimus, Meeperson, Kirk. And, of course, your last runner. I mean, I can't feel, but we're through to turn number 1. We're starting race number 2.
Here comes Aldridge. He's looking to try to send it 3 wide. Oh, but he's got Manheimus trying to send it 3 wide himself. Oh, 3 wide. Oh, Fuller almost getting flipped.
We're still 3.
Whoa!
This is a pinch point.
Contact between Good and... Oh, Good's going around. Schlosser's going around.
My goodness. There's a car park down on pit road. The rest of the field streets through. It is Aldrich, Manheimus, Motorchet, Fuller, and Amsbacher who get away clean from that. And Meeperson in chase. Although Zach Fuller's getting turned here. Bye.
Zach on Zach violence.
They make it through lap number 1 in the books, but it has not come cleanly for anyone. All trucks still running back here. A little bit of damage, I think, on this duo, fighting out for 8th position now. Back in the battle for the lead is Victor Aldrich up 3 positions, Manheimus up 5, Motorchet up 2, and Ansbacher up 6. all trying to work their way through in this one. Can Tom get to the inside? Maybe a little bit too much grip, rolls it,
there's contact!
turns Aldrich
no!
completely around, and Joshua Motorcheck comes through for the race lead.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, you saw Mahimus almost flip it, and he just kept his foot in it and just, you know, just drove into the side of Aldridge and flipped him around. That's not all that great to see.
Yeah, I'm sure not intentional from Tom there. It's just almost out of control up on two wheels, but an unfortunate incident, as I'm also maybe seeing an incident further back between Good and Schlosser, who were caught up in that early running. Motorcheck getting a little bit of a friendly nudge from Zach Amsbacher there. And Motorcheck was in the lead, but then took that Joker. It shuffled him back into the pack. I'm a little bit surprised that he's taken him this early, although maybe expects more carnage to follow, and at that point he can just run off into the sunset. But this could be the carnage, and that's the problem with the Joker. The rejoin right into the side of Zach Amspack. Meanwhile, Zach Fuller behind has picked up a black flag, I think for potentially not serving the shortcut slowdown. That will, I think, get applied post-race, if I'm not mistaken.
Or it could be, like I mentioned earlier, and not being fully inside the line on the entry of the Joker and getting that improper Joker penalty.
Could be. See as that comes across the line. Does not like he took a Joker on that lap. Still has both of them to serve, and so I think it must have been down in the shortcut section. They're side by side through here. That's dangerous. It's a clip of the wall for Motorcheck. I think he gets away with it just about. But these drivers on top of each other. And if Zach does have that black flag, and I think it is a post-race time penalty at this course, you've got to try and build that gap, because you know how far ahead you need to be of your competition by the end. And maybe just a little nudge of the number 60, who has been in the whirlwind all race long here, it feels like.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of people have been in the whirlwind. There's been nothing but chaos here tonight. Oh! Want to check almost getting into the side of Fuller again.
I just have 3 black flags on my screen. Fuller, Aldrich, and Kirk. All with post-race penalties, it seems like. I think Aldrich and Kirk may have come from the Joker as it's tapped the wall for Motorcheck. Very lucky to not grip up there and just get sort of flipped over by that wall. Keeps out of trouble as we finish up lap number 5 here at IRP for the feature race.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't go around, because I've seen it hundreds of times at Charlotte. You know, when you're trying to wrap those walls, you touch it with the inside tire and it just grips up and sends you around each time. Motorcheck is very lucky that he was just able to just slide over it.
You saw Benheimus there take that Joker, the I believe the first one of the race for the 007. Managed to hold on to the race lead, crucially had the margin to Zach Amsbacher. This is almost, although it's a shortcut on the inside of the course, it's almost a European style of Joker, but you've got to bleed off so much more speed to hold that tight line. I think you end up sort of losing time overall from taking that Joker lap.
Absolutely, and that's why you're seeing more trucks kind of take it early, because with how I always roll, I always treat the shortcut Jokers as your get out of jail free card. You know, you keep it in your back pocket in case you need an easy way to get by someone, or kind of something to help if you make a mistake and lose a position or lose a good chunk of time. Here, with it being more of a long cut than a shortcut, you try to get those done as quickly as possible Well, while making sure you're not going to be putting yourself in a position where you're going to be held up by someone, so then you can just focus forward on hitting your apexes, making up time, and being able to have that advantage when everyone else takes theirs.
Yeah, and Tom has taken both jokers now. Zach Amsbacher has one left to serve ahead, and it is about drivers taking those early when they have the margin. We have Victor Aldrich down and stationary on pit road. We'll look to see what's happened to both him and actually Alex Good, first of all, with an incident and a potential retirement from this race. Oh, and that is a pure retirement for Alex Good. Victor Aldrich, I think, not quite going to be the same story. See what happens for the 98.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, it is.
Yeah, he pulled off as well.
So we're losing drivers towards the end of this one. You've got this battle for 4th place. Murchek, Meepson, and Kirk, all three have taken both of their Joker laps, so Joey Kirk has a post-race penalty left to be resolved. Of course, Amsbacher and Manheimus up at the front of the field. Amsbacher still has a Joker left to take and is only 0.6 of a second ahead of Tom, so could be in big danger as he has to take that in these final few laps. The current task is to try and build a margin on one of these laps so we can safely take that and defend that position down into that. It's a left-hander, isn't it?
Yes.
It's an overlap from the left-hander. Oh, and Zach Fuller's in this group as well. I see him at the front. He still has to take both of his Joker laps. Hasn't gotten through to those yet.
See someone up ahead taking the Joker. I believe that's Fuller taking his first, and almost got the inside wall.
Oh, an instant for Tom Manheimus. In fact, just ahead. Let's have a look at what happened here to the 007. And don't tell me it's the concrete barrier again. No, oh, it is, but it's a little bit of help from Zach. Just overcut it, had to sort of park the corner to get rotated. And Tom ends up getting shuffled a little bit further behind. We cut back to this battle for the 3rd position. We are into the final 4 laps of this race. Zach Fuller has taken one of those Jokers. See sort of alternate lines through the oval section. Muschet let off a bit of speed to hold it tight on the inside, and it actually worked out quite well for him. Down into the left-hand right 90.
Whoa, Kirk massive sideways over the jump.
Oh, in contact with the wall for Kirk.
Yeah, once again, he got lucky. Oh, look at this massive humanity right now. We're gonna... Monachek is almost bump drafting Fuller through here.
Again, all of these drivers have those Jokers resolved. Fuller and Kirk have time penalties in this one. But Murchek and Meeperson, who are on top of each other right now, fighting for what I think will turn into the podium for race number 2.
And it's going to be interesting when you consider that Fuller and Kirk still have their black flag, so this might just be a battle between Meeperson and Monachek.
It could be. At the same time, they might have the same penalty, and so it could come down to which of those two finishes ahead in that battle for 5th place.
Wow, look at Meeperson shooting the gap through the middle. Here comes Monachek. Oh, there's contact with Fuller, and he's going around, and Kirk is stuck behind him.
2 laps to go here. Fuller gets spun around.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out, Liv. Sorry to interrupt, but these two are throwing haymakers at each other. They were door banging over the jump.
coming around to the white here. Motorchet gets the good run off. The hairpin is going to blast through towards turn number 1. It's a tighter line for Meeperson. He gains actually on that oval section. Might have the advantage. And in fact, Meeperson's going to get through on entry. The crossover from Motorchet gives the nudge. Can Ant get back there? Yes, they're going to be side by side again through this chicane section. Will they make it through? Motorchet gets the nose ahead.
What a move by Motorchet. Some unreal battling we've seen tonight.
That Amsfacker will fly through, will take the checkered flag. And Ant Meeperson actually moved Motorchet out of the way there through the final sequence. It'll be a drag race to the line. Motorchet has the inside line, but Meeperson carries the momentum and will win it at the last minute. Kirk will lead Fuller over the line. Post-race penalties will come through on that one, of course. But what was this final move by Ant Meeperson? Through the hairpin. To see he was way, but I thought this battle was done. Oh, and it's wide. Oh. It's just wide from Motorchet. No contact required. And he just can't get back there.
I think Motorchet might have had a slowdown with how slow he was going through the hairpin. And look, you see him, he lifts off as they're getting to the line. He still had a little to burn. So I think he still had a slowdown.
Wow. Crazy, crazy result here in the feature race. Amsbacher wins it by 4.9 ahead of Manheimus, and Meeperson wins the podium position in that final corner. We'll get a full look at those race results here. It was a margin of 0.3 of a second even with that lift from Motorchet for that final podium spot. Zach Fuller ends up being traded 36 seconds back, so quite a big penalty being applied, but Joey Kirk 1 lap down after all was said and done. Matt Schlosser ends up finishing 3 laps down, had an incident towards the end with Victor Aldrich, Alex Good, and Stephen Thompson, your other retirements. I think we've got quite a few replays to look back at here before we get over into our interviews. First of all, that incident between Fuller and Kirk, let's not forget, down at the Joker exit. This was a wild one. I'm not quite sure exactly how it all went wrong. Kirk was sort of pinched to the inside. It was contact with Meeperson, of course, who was just trying to shoot that gap around the outside, and Kirk had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and you knew that was coming. But man, what a move! Ant looks like he was shot out of a cannon through there.
Yeah, and you see he was trying to hold it to the outside, but of course, as the truck yaws out, it takes up more than a lane. And I just don't think Ant was quite ready for that. Then there's the battling they have side by side over the jump. I don't know. Well, let's just watch this one more time, so I want to see this whole thing on the aftermath. They exit this section side by side. They have to hole shot through, and gets there. Actually has to lift off and gets hit from behind by Motorchet. And we continue down towards the oval turns 3 and 4, where Josh ends up clearing and holding on to that race lead for that third place battle for a little bit longer.
Yeah, you know, this wasn't the size of field we've been accustomed to this season, but that didn't matter because we still saw some absolutely incredible battling.
Yeah, that was a truly, truly crazy race there. We, of course, had a repeat winner, 4 points being scored by the number 22. And James, you just have a word with our race winner?
Yeah, let's do it. Zach, James in the booth, you got a copy.
What's up, James? I got you.
Well, heck of a job for you tonight, bringing home the sweep. Take us through it. How'd you do it?
Just put in some practice. My teammate Tom and I, we worked on some lines and stuff. It's a pretty simple track, I think. You just got to make sure you hit everything right. Track conditions changed a lot. Obviously, it was wore out for practice, and then refresh for qualifying, and then wore out during the race. Just try to keep up with the track. And yeah, I just bought this track Tuesday night this week. And yeah, we just put in a lot of practice.
Yeah, and take us through how difficult it is trying to factor in the change to the track surface and how that's really going to mess how you drive it as the race goes on.
Yeah, it's kind of a feel thing. I mean, you're in the moment, you're not really looking at it, but like turn 4 changes a lot, so you just kind of feel it. You want to keep it to the inside, but you can run a lot different when the dirt wears away. So yeah, it's just a feel thing, and you just got to really just go with it.
Yeah, and obviously incredible job to get through everyone on there in the second heat. You know, starting from the rear as the heat as the race one winner, you were able to make some great passes on everyone to get back into the lead and take the sweep.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I tried to be clean. I think turn 1 there was obviously going to be a lot of carnage, but hopefully I didn't upset anybody and put on a good show. And obviously it helped the field was a little bit smaller tonight, so I'll take that.
Alrighty, well, awesome job on the sweep, Zach. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you like to give?
Yeah, big shout out to TG Power Sports. They support my race team. I love them guys and what they do over there. Shout out to my teammate Tom Monhemius. He pushes me to be faster every day. It sucks to have a teammate faster than you sometimes, but he's always pushing me to get that extra little bit.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Zach, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yep, thanks, James.
Alrighty, and that's our race winner.
Who should we pull in next? Should we talk to Tom now?
Yeah, go ahead and ask Tom a few questions.
Hey, welcome to the booth, Tom, once again. It is a second place finish here in that feature race, battling out with your teammate all race long. Talk us through how it was racing here and the experience of going wheel to wheel with Zach for so long.
It's an interesting track, you know. It's narrow at points. Obviously, the cutting helps to widen it out a bit. Makes for interesting turn 1, as you saw with Zach, which, you know, we've already talked it. I was maybe just going for a bit, seeing what I could do. He did run it a bit wider. I thought, you know, if there's an opportunity, there's an opportunity. I'm gonna take it, and didn't work out. But yeah.
Of course, you came into this race second in the points, with Josh Edmondson actually not being here tonight. It's helped you close in, and you're now within 167 as we head into the final round next week over at Crandon. What do you think you need to do next time out to give yourself a shot at taking that championship home, or is it all up to sort of how it goes with Josh, do you think?
I think it's pretty much how Josh ends up, how Josh's luck is. You know, he's probably the quickest guy around Crandon. I have no doubt that he's going to be the one to put it on pole. He'll probably take the win in race 1, and then I guess it kind of just depends where I am. If I can finish P2 and then not get killed in race 2, and maybe if something unlucky happens to Josh, not hoping on him, of course. But yeah, I think that's how it is. I just need the luck to go my way.
Well, I will wish you all the best. I'll let you get to practicing, but if anything you want to say to the fans at home before we head out, now would be the time.
Yeah, just shout out to you guys on the broadcast. Shout out to Matt putting up this league. You guys done brilliant all season so far. Shout out Bennett Racing and shout out TG Power Sports.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Cool. Thank you, Olivia. See ya.
That was your second place finisher, Tom Monheimus. James is standing by with our third place finisher in both races, Ant Meepson.
Ant James in the booth. You got a copy?
G'day.
Well, you did amazing tonight. You were able to withstand a lot of pressure and a lot of contact from a lot of people out there. First of all, I gotta ask that move through that 3Y move through the middle when you were in that big 4-car pack with Fuller, Matacek, and Kirk in heat in the second race. How did you do that? It looked like you were shot out of a cannon.
I saw it and I was just hoping it wouldn't close as I got there. What I think everyone was doing to mitigate the penalty, they were going for the hairpin fire and then backing off at the end of the straight, but I was taking my loss out of the hairpin early. I was going into third, having a really bad run, but it just meant I could hold the rest of the speed through the straight.
Yeah, and you had another spirited scrap with Matacek in the closing laps, and we kind of thought you were done, and then just out of nowhere you were able to take third place from him right there in the final corner. Take us through the move.
It's the same thing, really. You can give away a lot of time in the first part of the lap and you can get it back on the second. So if someone gets past you, it's really good for you because it's less penalty you have to worry about getting rid of.
Yeah, and I'll ask this question to you as well. How difficult was it trying to change up your driving style as the track really started to wear in?
Yeah, it's tricky because you've got to start throwing more and more. Coming out of the hairpin at the start of the race, you're fine keeping them first and second. If you're lucky, you're stuck in a pack, you don't have to lift at all. But as the race goes on, all the dirt gets washed away. There's a lot more you have to do to make sure you don't fall above that delta.
Alrighty, well, Ant, incredible job tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shoutouts you like to give?
Not that I can think of, I'm afraid. Just, yeah, can't say completely clean racing, but I had fun nonetheless, and I'm looking forward to Crandon.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Ant, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yeah, catch you later.
And there's pretty much all of our podium finishers. I think Kirk finished on the podium in half one, but he is not sitting in the waiting room right now.
Yeah, a tough race too. Those penalties, I think, really causing a little bit of trouble there for some of these drivers. Again, these sort of unusual combos always stop those unexpected challenges and catching a couple of people sort of off guard here. But of course, next week we head to the bread and butter of these trucks for the season finale over at Crandon. And a lot of drivers getting experience over there right now in the Pro 4. But as we head over there next week to be on the short course, it'll be with these Pro 2 trucks as usual. And there will be a championship to decide. It is going to be 3 drivers left in contention as we leave IRP. Edmondson leads the way with Tom Manheimus 167 behind, and Zach Fuller behind by 303. Of course, 500 points on the table, so it's going to be a big ask for both of those drivers. But if you've seen anything about dirt racing, nothing is impossible. Are there any last thoughts before we head out of here, James?
Yeah, I mean it's our last round at the Rallycross tracks, and you know it's always disappointing because the Rallycross tracks put on such a great show every time. But going next week to Dirt Road's bread and butter at Crandon for the finale with the championship on the line, I know that one is definitely not gonna let us down, especially the massive land rush start all the way down into the short course. So it's gonna be fun, and I can't wait to see it unfold and who comes out victorious with the championship.
Yeah, you are not going to want to miss that. That will be live once again here on Friday night on JCTV. We will also, of course, have on the Saturday next week the return of the BSR Grid Network Truck Series. So we look forward to inviting you back for both of those. But from everyone here tonight at IRP, my wonderful co-commentator James Watson, I have been Olivia Hayward, saying so long, and we'll see you next time.